one of my biggest emphasis I have for my podcast is the conversation, to be able to have the debate, even if we won't always see eye to eye or have disagreements. The fact that we're able to still come together, still treat each other respectfully, civilly, able to have the debate, the conversation, regardless what the issue is, because it's through the conversation and through the debate that we're able to find the solution. Because like what David Lane told me in the last episode, you can't find a solution without an argument.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. I mean, that's what our system was built upon, is to have that conversation. And unfortunately, in some of our political issues that are going around the nation, is that people won't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And if you don't talk to each other, how are we going to solve anything?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why you see all of the roadblocks at the federal level on policy that could help the American people or could be bad for the American people, whatever the issue or policy discussion is. But we have to have the conversation and not be afraid to talk about what it is, the good, the bad, the ugly of that policy. And once we can have those open debates, those open discussions, and engage the American people, then we'll be able to put in things that are great for the American people, and allow us to be, the shining star that we are as the United States of America.
Yeah, exactly. And because for me, like, it's just an interesting point. Like, growing up with me, I didn't really have as much interest in politics, American history, things like that. And I kind of had a pessimistic attitude towards America as a whole. But over time, as I've like read more and studied more, like, for example, I've quite literally actually read a textbook on American government from front to back to kind of help my understanding of everything and how politics work on a national all the way down to city level, including how the media plays a part in that as well. But one of my goals in life that I've had since I was 15 actually is to learn everything. And that's something that obviously can't be achievable, but that's the point, to continue motivation. But with it, I also accept the fact that I could quite literally be wrong about everything. And I can't find that out until have the open conversation, the dialect and everything. Because like at the end of the day, this is going to be an echo chamber. And until we're able to have that civil conversation, find solutions and everything, and be willing to take criticism and where we're wrong and move forward from that, that's where like America truly thrives. And that's what we've been built upon.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that is what we've been built upon, and we need to get back to having the conversation. It all just starts with a conversation.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people have a view or an opinion or think it's a certain way, but it's not that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not that at all. I mean, I'm the mayor of Lake Havasu City, yes, but when I got elected, nothing changed about who I am or what I do. So I'm still that same person where come talk to me and let's talk it through. But oftentimes I'll read things or hear things of things that I supposedly said or did or do or don't do that are not even based on any part of truth at all.
Yeah.
And just talk to me. Well, we can talk it through. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I'm really not that interesting, but we can talk it through, and I'll answer, what it is that we're doing, why we're doing it, what my position is on the particular issue. But it starts with the conversation. Don't be afraid to have the conversation.
Yeah. And even if it's out of your element too, like not everything, obviously, because I don't have a formal education. I've done a lot of my own self-education. So I always have the approach with each debate or just regular conversation I have to be open-minded, to hear the other party out, and to always kind of look at both sides of the spectrum, because I study kind of a lot of both sides, watch a lot of both sides, and especially with how media and news are today, it's more so like yellow journalism than attack journalism, which for people who don't know about it, like during the American Spanish War of 1898, a lot of big factors that played into that was the fact that we have this type of journalistic behaviors in media where they're just promoting stuff for sensationalism, even if it's not true. It's just to get that interest and to get something going. But it's like, you need to steer away from that and just have the civil conversation and have just the understanding that we all have a mutual respect between each other and we all have the best interests.
Yeah, it's so important to remember that the media of today is entertainment television.
Yeah.
And so that 24-hour news cycle has created entertainment television that are opinion shows. They're great. They're great shows, and if you respect the opinion of those that are hosting them or having those shows, great. But know that there's other perspectives. That's just one person's perspective,
Exactly.
or spin on the story. And then there's other media outlets that are telling the story, but it's a third party point of view no matter what. It's one journalist or a group of journalists or a team of journalists that are telling the story. And so it's
Exactly.
their perspective. It's just human nature. So just you have to be able to read between the lines of what that looks like. And when you're engaging with your elected officials, just know when you're sending me an email, you're sending the email to me. I'm reading it.
Yeah.
And so the words that you're using, you're not talking to a robot or a computer bot. You're talking to me. And so you're going to get an answer from me. And so often the words and the word choices and the vulgarity of some of the emails I receive are atrocious.
Yeah.
And I'm not easily offended, but it's hard to have a conversation back and forth and for one party to take the other party seriously if that's the way you're going to start a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
You can't have a conversation by attacking the other person. It just comes down to mutual respect.
Yes, and at the end of the day, if we have differing opinions after we've talked it through, great. We shake hands and we move on.
Yeah.
And on to the next conversation or the next debate or the next topic or the next issue that's on your mind. But at the end of the day, I know for myself, I'm here to serve the citizens of Lake Havasu City, and I'll continue to do that based on the feedback and the conversations that I have with the community as a whole.
Right.
But yeah, mutual respect. I think that's exactly what it ties down to.
Yeah.
So